The Afflicted Graverobber, Ancient Soldier Varg, and Cerah the Old Explorer, more colloquially known as the Gank Boss, is an optional boss in the Crown of the Sunken King DLC for Dark Souls 2. Every DLC has an optional boss that's balanced around multiplayer, and this is the first DLC's example. It's a trio fight against 3 NPCs that each have a boss health bar. The Afflicted Graverobber wields a katana and is the DPS of the typical RPG team. Ancient Soldier Varg uses the full Havel Knight gear and represents the tank, and Cerah uses a great bow and thrusting sword to provide support to the other two. Not much lore is given for the trio, but their names imply that they are exploring and looting an ancient city you find them in. I don't think I need to elaborate on their combat prowess, since it's the same as any player that uses the same gear. What I will talk about is the arena, since that's probably the most interesting part of the fight. It's in a cavern with 2 main parts, an upper part and a lower part, with ramps connecting the two in a couple of spots. Ideally, having 2 separate layers supports the player's ability to separate the trio from each other, but the aggression of both the Afflicted Graverobber and Varg means that you're only likely to separate them from Cerah, who will opt to stay at a distance and pepper you with great arrows. This boss is straight up miserable solo. There will probably be a couple of contrarians commenting otherwise, like there was in my Bed of Chaos video, but I promise they're a loud minority. Even having 1 extra person makes this boss 10 times more enjoyable, and that's because it's a 3-on-1 fight with no measures taken to have the fight be balanced around solo play. As I stated at the beginning of the video, it's balanced around multiplayer, meaning it's most enjoyable in multiplayer. Other multi-enemy boss fights include mechanics that make it bearable in solo play, like the Demon Prince from Dark Souls 3 switching aggressive and passive states, or Ornstein and Smoke from Dark Souls 1 making it easy to separate the two. Prior to typing the script, I had given a bit of thought to this boss, and I think my judgment is going to sound eerily similar to my judgment for Scorpion as Najka. In theory, it could be a balanced fight. There are 3 of them, and in Nightreign there will be 3 of us, and that already puts both the players and the boss on even footing. Given that most teams consist of a DPS tank and support means that it would actually be some sort of a team-based fight, and I actually like the idea of that. But just like Najka, it would suffer from the lack of hype. Yes, it could be balanced, but how disappointed would you be if they brought back a trio NPC fight instead of one of the other boss fights from Dark Souls 2? Like if instead of bringing back Cerah or Dark Lurker they brought back this trio, it would be disappointing, right? The best scenario they could work in would be as Night Invader, to be completely honest. They wouldn't have boss health bars and would just be NPC invaders. They could even drop their weapons when defeated. That's probably the best way to do it in my head. Ideally, they'd have a random chance of invading a shifting earth event, particularly the ones with established architecture like Naglateo or the Crater, or if other shifting earth events are added, they could invade those. They should also, most importantly, not take the place of an actual returning boss. That's all I ask for. The Gank Boss gets a B tier from me. On paper they could be a balanced fight, but I'm pretty sure 99% of people would rather have some other boss over this one, and it should not take the place of one.